Welcome to Flourish in Math class. Our topic today is Laws of Indices. Law of multiplication. Represented as a to the power of m multiplied by a to the power of n, and this gives us a to the power of m plus n. So here, once the bases are the same, we add the powers or the indices. So that's law 1. And an example here, a times a times a. This is the same as a to the power of 1 times a to the power of 1 times a to the power of 1. So you remember, because they have the same base, you write the base, then add the powers. And this is a to the power of 3. B to the power of 3 times b to the power of 5. And this is b to the power of 3 plus 5. And that is b. This is b to the power of 8. Law of division. And we have a to the power of m divide a to the power of n. Here, once the base are the same, you write the base down and you subtract their powers. So that is m minus n. An example here is d to the power of 8 divide d to the power of 3. This is the same thing as d to the power of 8 divide d to the power of 3. And this is d to the power of 8 minus 3. Remember that you subtract the powers, and that is d to the power of 5. The third law, law of brackets. So we have a to the power of m all to the power of n. So here, a term with power raised to another power, what we do is to multiply the power. So we have a to the power of m times n, and this is a m n. An example here is e to the power of 2 all to the power of 3. This means e to the power of 2 times 3, and here is e to the power of 6. Law of negative powers. So if we have a to the power of negative m, this can be written as 1 over a to the power of m. So law of negative powers are written as fraction. So the negative here makes it change to 1 over a to the power of m. An example under this law is simplify 6 to the power of negative 3. This is 1 over 6 to the power of 3. And 6 to the power of 3 means 1 over 6 times 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Then 36 times 6 is 6 times 6 is 36. 6 carry 3. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 3 is 21. So 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. Number 5 is the law of the power of 0. Any number or anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. That is the law. So a to the power of 0 is 1. An example here is 3 over 4 all to the power of 0 is 1. 9 to the power of 0 is 1. Law number 6, law of the power of 1. Any number to the power of 1 is that number. So it's a to the power of 1 equals a. So that means 3 to the power of 1 is 3. 1 over 2 all to the power of 1 is 1 over 2. The law of fraction raised to a power. So we have a over b to the power of m. Here, both the numerator and the denominator are affected by the power. So we have it to be a to the power of m over b to the power of m. An example here is 1 over 2 to the power of 2. This would be 1 to the power of 2 divides 2 to the power of 2. And this gives us 1 over 4. Eighth rule is the fraction power. A to the power of m over n is written as nth root. Denominator n talks about the type of root, which is the nth root of a, and the numerator represents the power of all. The numerator represents the power of the whole term. So we have a to the power of m over n to be the nth root of a all to the power of m. An example here is 125 to the power of 2 over 3. So here it means we're looking for the cube root of 125 all to the power of 2. And so we have the cube root of 125 is 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. So the cube root of 125 is 5, then squared. So 5 squared means 5 times 5, and that is 25.